Hello, my name is Mike. This is unscripted. I just wanted to talk to you about the Brothers Grimm and some of their fairy tales. Specifically, the first two in this book I got for $10 at Walmart. So, I'm just going to jump right into it real quick. I already tried recording this twice. Fucked it up real bad. So, I'm just going to cut this one up and make it seem like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Enjoy. So, the first story in this book is the Frog King or Iron Henry. And let me tell you, it's not what I expected at all. Let me explain. It's not a story you go into thinking, I know how this is going to end, until you read it. And then you say, oh, I know exactly how this is going to end. And then you finish reading it, and you had no idea how it was going to end. It starts with a princess. The third princess. I don't know why that's important. It's mentioned. They never bring it up again. Let's move on. She sits down by the pond every day and plays with her ball. A little golden ball that she throws up into the air and catches over and over again every day for hours because Fortnite wasn't invented yet. But one particular day, she drops the ball. No, I don't mean she fucks. I mean, she does fuck up, but she literally drops the ball into the pond. And she starts crying because what else are you gonna do? You're a little girl. You can't reach into the water. So, she's crying on the shore when a frog pokes its head up out of the water and asks if she's okay. Why is she crying? And first of all, red flag? Why is this frog talking? Red flag 2? How does this frog comprehend human emotion? She explains to the frog that the reason she's crying is she dropped her ball in the water. And the frog tells her, hey, I can get your ball for you if you be my friend. And the frog doesn't just mean, hey, be my friend, come hang out with me by the pond sometimes. I know you're here every day, and this is the first chance I've ever gotten to speak to you. The frog wants to be more than friends. The frog wants to go home with her, meet her family, sleep with her, that sort of thing. And the princess agrees, which was surprising. So the frog goes down to the bottom of the pond, right by the shore, and picks up the ball in its mouth. And when the little girl gets the ball, she's gone. She's running. She does not want to sleep with a frog, okay? I don't blame her. But moving on, the next day, her and her dad, and I assume her sisters, they don't mention it, but I assume they're there. It's dinner. Maybe they've already been married off, because it's medieval times, They're eating dinner when there's a knock at the door and a voice saying, Princess, princess, you said we'd be friends. Some shit like that. Let me in. And, your dad's gonna want to know, hey, what's this all about? So she explains to him that, hey, I dropped my ball in the water and I promised this frog that I'd sleep with it if it gave me my ball back. And I don't want to do that. And her dad says, well, you promised. So go let that frog in. So she lets the frog in, and they finish eating dinner. So they finish dinner with the frog having eaten off of her plate. And they decide it's time for bed. So the girl and the frog, they go upstairs. And she puts the frog in the corner and lays down in bed. And the frog comes over and tells her, hey, we had a deal. So she picks the frog up, and I shit you not, fucking yeets the son of a bitch against the wall. How do you like that, you disgusting little creature? But, and I will read this out for you. I will read this out for you because it shocked me, and I want it to shock you too. She was terribly angry and took him up and threw him with all of her might against the wall. Now you will be quiet, odious frog, she said. But when he fell down, he was no frog, but a king's son with beautiful, kind eyes. That's abrupt. I get it. It's like a 2-page story, 3-page. But still, it's kind of an abrupt way to go. You weren't expecting it. You really weren't. Because Disney would have you believe that The Princess and the Frog is about a frog who gets the princess to kiss him and turn into a prince, and they can go off and get married. They still go off and get married, by the way. After she yeets him into a wall, he says, "I like your style, kid. Let's get married." So, that's how that turns out. Moving on to the second story in this book. Cat and Mouse in Partnership. What's there to say about this one? One thing there is to say about this story is I enjoyed it a little bit more than the Frog Prince story that I can't remember the name of. I liked this story a lot because it's exactly what you'd expect with a twist. I wouldn't say with a twist, it's just exactly what you'd expect, but the way they get there is just so ridiculous. So the story starts off with a cat and a mouse, and they live in a house. And they protect it, I guess? I mean, I'll get to that later, but they protect the house. So the cat and the mouse, they live in the house, and they need to store winter food. So the cat and the mouse, they live in the house, and they need to store food for the winter. So they come across a jar of fat. I don't think it's really explained how. They come across a jar of fat, and they decide instead of keeping it in the house where they live and they protect it, they're going to keep it in the attic of a church on the other side of town. They do that. They store it in the attic of the church and they leave it there. And a little time passes and the cat gets a thinking, I want some of that. The cat wants that fat, you know what I'm saying? But it don't want the mouse to know that the cat wants the fat. So it has to come up with a reason to leave the house to go to the church to get the fat. And what other reason to leave the house in the year of our Lord, 2022, than birth? So the cat says to the mouse, hey, I'm going to be a godmother. I got to go and watch this baby get born. And the mouse is like, aye, aye, Catin, I'll protect the house while you're away. Some shit like that. And so the cat goes to the church to eat the fat. So it takes just a little bit of fat off the top and goes home at like midnight. And when the mouse asks, hey, how'd it go? What's the baby's name? And the cat tells the mouse, Top Off. And the mouse says, huh? Well, that's a funny name. I've never heard of that name before. Side note, alright, this mouse is fucking stupid. Alright, first of all, it's trusting a cat. It's natural predator, so a little more time passes. And the cat gets a thinking, I want some more of that fat. And it does the same exact thing. Tells the mouse, hey, I'm going to be a godmother. I'm going to be right back. And the mouse says, okay, protect house. The cat asks the mouse if it's all right protecting the house by itself, but still, what? So the cat goes and gets a little more fat, and this time comes back to the house, and the mouse asks, hey, what's this baby's name? And the cat says, Half Done. And the mouse says, huh, Half Done. Now that's a funny name. I've never heard it before. And the cat says, yeah, haha. And so a little more time passes, and the cat gets to thinking it wants some more of that fat, and you know where this is going. Same old, hey, I want to be godmother, birth, go. Mouse, protect house, okay. Cat comes back. What's the baby's name? All gone. And the mouse still hasn't caught on at this point. It's just, all gone. I've never heard that name before. So, a little more time passes. Winter rolls around. And they're running low on food. And the mouse says, hey, remember that fat that we stored in the attic? Let's go get that fat. And so they leave to the church on the other side of town in the winter, when they could have just kept it in their house to begin with. But I digress. When they get there, the mouse sees that the fat is all gone. And then the pieces start clicking into place. The mouse says, wait, top off, half done, all gone. You weren't talking about children. You were talking about then. And the cat eats him. The end. Like I said, it's exactly what you'd expect. It's exactly what you would expect. But the way they get there is ridiculous. And I just want to say, I love this book. I'm so glad I bought it. I'm going to be making more of these. So if you enjoyed, leave a like. Comment down below what your favorite story is, because I'm bound to get to it eventually. And last of all, have a beautiful night, you fucking degenerate.